Okay, welcome boys and girls once again to another video tutorial for the week of March the 29th through April the 2nd. Alright, let's take a look at our assignment. Okay, first one for this week is a good size one called How America Works. So one of the things we're taking a look at in Chapter 7 is not only the newcomers coming here to Minnesota, but also taking a few minutes to talk about how our government works. So what I'd like you to do is this PDF called How America Works. If you can take that and upload it to Notability, that would be just super. Okay, so here's what you got cooking. So you have 1 question, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Okay, they're broken down and I've assigned pages for you to find the answers. I'm going to help you out with this as well. So with this assignment, I've given you copies of this handout to look at. Okay, so the first one asks you, uses pages 2 and 3 to answer the following questions. All right, name 5 things that United States government does to connect to your daily life. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is go to page 2 and 3. Okay, so all I'm looking for you to do here is just take a look at 5 things from this list. So when you're, if you take a look at the directions, it says, I hear people say that they pay taxes and that there are laws that we're required to follow. As a citizen of this great country, we need to know the basics of what our federal, that's the United States government, does for us and what is the process for making those laws. Please use a copy of the handout How America Works to find out. And that copy is right here on pages 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 12 and 13. Okay? No, it's not as big as it might seem. This is going to take you, it's not going to take you very long to do this at all. So please be patient with me. Okay? So, How America Works. Take a look at page 2 and 3. So what I'm asking you to do is just name 5 things from these 2 pages that the United States government does for us. Okay? So let me see if I can upload this thingy to Notability so I can write on it. Oh, well, I guess it's not supported, huh? Anyway, so name the 5 things the United States government does to connect your daily life, and then tell me how each one of these things has connected to you personally. So here are some things that it does. Number 1, it teaches you. My job as teacher comes from people paying their personal property taxes. One thing that the government does for us, so that's one thing the government does for us. It teaches us. Everybody in this country is entitled to an education, okay? And it's considered a free education, but technically it's paid for by people's property taxes. Another thing the federal government does for you, it manages our forests, protects money in banks. Your parents deposit money in a bank, a savings account. You might do that too. That money is insured by the federal the federal government. Okay? Fires. You guys heard about fires going on in our country. Well, California was literally on fire a few months ago. Well, who paid to put those fires out? You're right. It's the United States government. And where does the United States government get their money from? From your parents, paying property tax, not only property taxes, but federal income taxes. It looks after nature, oversees elections. Well, hello, did we just have an election in this country? Yes, we did. The United States government was watching over that election to make sure everything turned out the way it's supposed to turn out without anybody pulling any shenanigans. So, it also does these other things. How about explore space? Provides funds for the elderly and the disabled, maintains energy, delivers the mail. Wow. Counts the population, that's called the census, remember that? How about overseeing air safety? Any of you ever fly in an airplane, a commercial airline? Well, the United States government makes sure that that airline is following the rules they're supposed to follow. Also, the people that control the airplane, called the air traffic control, that's run by the United States federal government. Okay, look after the environment, this picture of this duck. So, there's a lot of things that our taxes go to pay for. So I like you to write down 5 of those. Then, tell me how each one of these 5 is connected to you personally. Alright, so for example, take a look, protecting wildlife. If it was me, I might write that one down. And guess what I like to do for a hobby? I like to fish. So who protects those fish in the streams and lakes that I fish in? You got it. It's the federal and state governments. Okay? That's all I'm asking you to do with number 1. All right, number 2 then. You're supposed to use pages 4 and 5 to answer the following questions. What are the 3 branches of the government called? Okay? Well, take a look right here. Our United States government is called, our form of government is called a democracy. The federal government is broken up into 3 branches. There's branch number 1. There's branch number 2, and there's branch number 3. Okay? So according to this, I want you to tell me, not only tell me what each branch is, but also tell me exactly what each branch does. So, one of the branches is called the Judicial Branch. Don't just write down that they interpret the laws, because you probably don't know what that means. I want you to do this. I want you to tell me, well, here's what their job is. Judicial Branch. They interpret the Constitution, which means they decide how it applies in specific situations. Constitution. What's the Constitution of the United States? That's a set of rules which every one of us citizens lives by. Okay? One of the branches of the Judicial Branch is to make sure that laws that are made by this branch, the legislative branch makes the laws. The job of the Judicial Branch is to make sure that these laws that the legislative branch makes their, sorry about this, the Judicial Branch makes sure that the laws that are made are constitutional. In other words, that they're legal. Okay? That's what I'm asking you to do with number 2. Number 3, what kind of government does the United States have? Well, for example, do we have a monarchy, which is described right here on the right side of pages 3 and 4, correction, 4 and 5. Do we have a monarchy, such as Great Britain's, where the head of the government is a king or queen? Do we have a totalitarian government, which is one of those things is involved with is a dictatorship. A totalitarian government is one in which the ruling party imposes its ideas on the lives of the people. The leader of this kind of government is called a dictator. No opposition is allowed. Ordinary people have no say in the way the government is run. Do we live in a totalitarian state? I hope not. Adolf Hitler was a dictator in Germany from 1933 to 1945. You may have heard about him. Not a very nice person. Or do we have a form of government that's called a democracy? Okay. Democracy is where the people decide what kind of leaders we have. All right, number 4. Number 4, I'm asking you to name, these are on pages 6 and 7. I'm asking you to The executive branch of the United States consists of the president, the vice president, and their cabinet members. Name the 3 requirements for you to run for the office of the president. If you want to be a president of the United States, what are the 3 requirements you're required to have? This is going to shock and surprise you. To become president, you must. There they are. Okay? So, do you need a high school diploma to run for president of the United States? Do you have to have a college degree to run for president of the United States? Take a look at that and think about it. Now, and lastly, tell me, what do you think about these qualifications to be a president? Does it surprise you? If it does, why? Tell me why it surprised you. Okay? Okay. All right, then I'd like you to take a look at page number 7. All right, page number 7, that's right here. Now this is an old handout. It says there have been 43 presidents. Currently, we're on number 46. All right, so Mr. Biden's not on here, Mr. Obama's not on here, and George W. Bush, well, is on here right here, but for some reason they didn't count 44. Okay, so this is about the presidents of the United States. I'm asking you to tell me, who was the only president to have quit or resigned from his job as president? If you take a look here. Here's a little key. So take a look on here and tell me which one of these presidents has the only one to have resigned from his job. Okay, then I'd like you to tell me which state has the most presidents born there. If you take a look at this, Arkansas has had 1, Texas has had 1, correction 2, California, biggest state in as far as population goes in our country, only has had 1 president. Has Minnesota had any presidents? Nope. What state has had the most presidents? Is it New York, Ohio, Vermont, Virginia, or Massachusetts? Let me know. Okay? Okay, next one. Number 5, we go to the Judicial Branch on pages 8 and 9. All right. The Judicial Branch of the government consists of the courts, which includes the Supreme Court of the United States. All right. In the court system, first you have what's called circuit courts. Well, let's back up. First of all, we have what's called district courts. There are 94 district courts across our country. All right. Now, these are federal district courts. These are not state, federal. Okay. Then, above that, we have 13 courts of appeals. So, if you go to district court and you don't like what happened there, you have a right to appeal. Or, correction, you have a right to try for an appeal. And if your right for an appeal is granted, you will go to what's called a circuit court. Okay? Next in importance under the Supreme Court are the 13 courts of appeals called circuit courts. Unlike the Supreme Court, which is in Washington, D.C., these courts are located in different parts of the country. Each of the Supreme Court justices oversees one or more of these courts. All right, then, if you go to the circuit court and you still don't like the decision that's given to you at the circuit court level, you can apply for, and you may be granted, another appeal to a higher court, and that would be the Supreme Court of the United States. Okay? And they're in the Judicial Branch, and the Judicial Branch makes sure that the laws that are being made are followed correctly. The highest and the most important court in the land is called the Supreme Court. There are 8 associate justices and 1 Chief Justice for a grand total of 9. 9 is an odd number. Each one is appointed by the President, and they serve until they they die or they decide to retire. Okay? So I'm asking you, as number 5, letter A, so what exactly does the judicial branch do? And then letter B, why do you think there are an odd number of Supreme Court justices? Okay? Number 6, the legislative branch. Legislative branch. That is found on page 12 and 13. Come on, page 12 and 13. Here we go. The legislative branch consists of 2 main groups. I want you to name them. Okay, I'm giving you a hint. One group has 100 members, the other group has 435. All right, then I want you to tell me what are 2 jobs that only the Senate can do. And then tell me 2 jobs that only the House of Representatives can do. All right, now after you do that, I want you to think about this. What specific job did both the House of Representatives and the Senate take part in during our last president's term? I'm talking about Mr. Trump. All right, what specific job? There was a big job they took part in, not once, but twice. I would like you to tell me as much as you can about that. Okay? All right, that is it, people. If I went too fast, I apologize. You can always pause this and replay it again. But anyway, good luck, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.